Okay, this is the first of a series of videos intended to show how to effectively search for items within the Needuum system. This video is running on an Android phone, but of course the same functionality exists whether you're running on an iPhone or whether you're running on the web. Before I get started, I'd like to point out that you can go to the More options here, Info, FAQ, and you can see all sorts of information about how the system works, including searching, and you can reference this at any time. So we're at the starting point, and the Needuum system contains about 100,000 different items, and of course we're adding more items all the time. So the big question was, well, how do we present 100,000 items on a 3x6 screen? And the answer was we have a hierarchy, or actually a series of hierarchies. And the hierarchy consists of items that are represented in what we call nodes, and within those you can drill in by touching it, and you go down to, you can see the two sports here that we cover, Canadian football and hockey. And then within those you can drill into their children, and now we get to a point where we're at hockey and there is no further nodes. Now they might be nodes there if you end up saving some search results, and those will be saved to your permanent hierarchy, and then they'll be there every time and you don't have to save them all the time. But for now we're going to not do any saving, we're just going to do searching. So the permanent hierarchy is always in blue. Everything's in blue. If you save some items, they will then show up in blue. The search results are always in yellow. So when we do some searching, you'll see how the results always come back in yellow, and then you'll know based on the color whether you're traversing the hierarchy of your current search results or whether you're traversing the hierarchy of your saved results. So we're going to go into the search button here in hockey. The search is only accessible from the top level of each sport, so you have to go back up to that level if you want to search again. And once you press that button, you get a whole bunch of options. You can see these options here, and today we're just going to discuss a couple of them. We're going to start with the basic text search. So the basic text search allows you to enter some words that are going to match for criteria on the set descriptions, issues and set descriptions. Once the search is completed, it's going to return you the sets that match the criteria you entered. So I'm going to enter some criteria here. You can also enter dates and things, but for now we'll just start with these words. And as I say, it's going to return sets. Now sets can mean a couple of things. Sets can be like sets of trading cards. It might be a single thing, like a single card that was issued, or a single calendar, that type of thing. Or it could be a series of things that was issued one per year. So for example, some calendars might have been issued in over 7 different years, only one per year. So now to execute this search, we're going to go, and the results will come back. And here you can see we have some what we call optional sort nodes, and these sort nodes are there to sort the results that you find. So in this case, the default sort order is, there's two by default. First one is by decade, and it segregates the results into decade, and the second one is by issuer. So if we go into the 1930s here, you can see there's the worldwide gum. And here are our set results. There's one set from 1933-34, as well as a variation on that set, because some have bilingual backs and some have English-only backs. Then the premiums that were available by sending in a certain number of wrappers, as well as the 1937 set. So if we drill into this set, you're going to see it'll load the items for you. And then you're going to see all the items come up and the various information about each items. You can see the pricing here because I am signed in as a subscriber. You can scroll through these and look at the values as much as you want. As a subscriber, I can also go into the premium section, and here I can see information about the write-ups, the history of the issue, the companies doing the issuing, that sort of thing. Different way to display the images. These are paged. And then groups of information about all the information that's known and recorded about this set, including the pricing and the common pricing, that type of thing. Again, that's available as a subscriber. If we look at the 1940s, you will see that Worldwide Gum again made an issue here. In this case, there was no pictures, but there were gum wrappers that had information about each player. 1970s, we get a match here because we typed in worldwide, and of course that matched the wide world, so there we have information on how the sets are matched for searching. Now the set sort orders are completely customizable. You can go into the preferences here and change this order. So basically anything that any bit of criteria that is associated with any issuer or set can be used as a sort order. We're going to change this one to year, and we're going to remove this one. So now we're only going to sort by year. So now if we go back, it tells us that our hierarchy is rebuilt, so it restarts us at the start point. Now we go into hockey. We go search, and you can see that the last search was retained, so it replicates your last search, so we can just hit go again, and now they come up in year order, and that's the only sort order. The sort order is totally optional. It's up to you whether you want to see it or not see it and what criteria you use for that. So now we're going to go back to search. This time we're going to reset, and you see sometimes the keyboard doesn't disappear when it's supposed to, so I'll just go done and go back in there. And now we're going to review another type of basic search you can do is you can type in, for example, Parkhurst, and then we want to see just the 1960s. So if I go 196, that's going to match on all the 1960s. The reason 1959 shows up here is because this season stretched from 1999 into 1960, so it matched on that. After that, you get all the different Parkhurst things again, sorted by year, because that's the way we change the sort order. So now we're going to go in and we're going to reset this again, and out and back in again to get rid of that keyboard glitch. Now we're going to go into the browse set. So browsing, so if you know what you're looking for, the basic text search works pretty well. But if you don't know what you're looking for and you just want to browse through the contents of the system and see what's there, that's what the browse sets is for. So I can select any decade here and hit go, and I'm going to see everything from the 1920s. Now when you do browse, there's no sort nodes, because the whole intent of browse is to just show you whatever is there, so you can flip through it and look at whatever interests you. And having to go in and out of a whole bunch of different sort nodes, of course, defeats the purpose of the browse. So here's all the issues from the 20s that came up on the browse, and you can of course go in and look at any one of these to see what the items are and the pricing, etc., etc. So another way to use the browse is you can narrow down what you're looking at. So I want to see 1960s food company premiums. I'll hit go. There they are. Drill in, and there's the various different obscure food company issues that we have cataloged so far. You can see there's all sorts of different things here. One of the reasons why we have this little descriptive text here is so you know what you're looking at, because there's so many different kinds of memorabilia. This is a trading card, this is a plastic cap, this is a booklet, that sort of thing. There's just so many. This is a game. There's so many different types of things. Candy wrapper. The description helps you know what are you looking at. When you get hundreds of things, what is it that I'm looking at. One of the best browse features that I like is you can look at what is new. So what is new, if you're a subscriber, you can use this little last bit of radio buttons here and say just show me the new stuff, or just show me the change things. So that is there specifically for people who have the books, and that is Bobby Burrell's Vintage Hockey Guide books or Andy Malitsky's CFL Collecting Canadian Football Books. If you have the books and you're aware of what's in there already, because you've looked at them quite a bit, you can say, well, just show me what's new since then, or just show me what's changed. And that way, when I execute this search, I'm only going to get the things that we have added into the system since those books were published, which is pretty useful, I think, for collectors who are already familiar with what's in the existing guides. Okay, that's it for this first. The next video is going to concentrate on some of these other search capabilities, and it will be run on an iPhone instead of Android.